Activity started. Think about all the croissants now you can eat.
So good morning, this is the running jackal going for a neighbourhood walk. I measured it yesterday. It's going to be about 2.3 kilometers and it should take me about an hour to finish. I'm going to go down my street onto San Juan, all the way down San Juan past Majestic, and then I'm going to do the square block where the baseball diamond is, and then head for home, making a square with an out and back stick. It's early for me, it's 8 o'clock-ish. Sunday the 11th. There's going to be a little bit of bumping around because I have the microphone pinned to my t-shirt and it's kind of flapping a little bit, but nothing compared to the adverse recording conditions that you have when you're running. Walking is just so much quieter. So many less issues to worry about, with wind noise and arm swing and clothing rustle. So once again, as you heard, I have the French girl with me with the running commentary. I've added one more feature. She's also going to tell us how many minutes I've been walking. Going past my friend's house with the 2 electric cars. He also has solar panels on his roof. If you look at the little video that I made, you'll see his solar panels. Excuse me. I'm debating whether to add today's audio to yesterday's video. I was listening to Crime City, or Crime Town, I think it's called. It's one of these historically based docudramas interviewing crooks. But it's all based on Providence, Rhode Island, where there was a very strong gangster element and a rather colourful mayor with connections, let's say.
Time, 5 minutes. Distance, 0.18 kilometers. Average pace, 26 minutes. 59 seconds per kilometer. Ooh la la, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. It's also a little bit loud. I'll turn her down in a second. Hello. I ruptured my Achilles tendon.
What were you doing?
I was running.
Running.
Yeah, and I had...
Trip on something? Or?
Kind of, yeah. I had surgery, so I'm waiting for it to mend.
Well, I'm sure you'll recover quickly.
Yeah, this is about 7.5 weeks since I had the surgery.
Okay, and you feel it's getting better?
It's awake now, yeah.
Yeah,
That was one of the women from the rec center. She's seen me many times. Oop. Getting a little blasé with my crutchmanship. It's great when I don't have to concentrate quite so much about my walking. I'm feeling a lot more secure with all the experience I've had in the past few weeks. Yeah, I guess this cadence is a little bit slow for running. I apologize for that. You can always play it at double speed. Most podcast catchers give you that option of playing at times 1, times 1.25, that kind of thing. It also raises the pitch of my voice a little bit, so it would sound like the running jackal on helium. Oh, I was going to turn down the volume. Oh no, I won't bother. She's not going to interrupt us that much. And the reason I'm doing it is because to get the thing out, it's inside my pouch, inside my shirt now. It would mean a lot of rustling. Everything happens right there at my neckline. Well, I've been listening diligently to everybody's podcast. Well, all the podcasts that I'm subscribing to. I am reluctant to take on new shows at the moment. I think it is more enjoyable to keep up to date with everybody rather than having to skip people's episodes because they're either too long or you have too many shows to listen to. So I think I have about 8 to 10 shows that I listen to religiously. Each day I am quite amazed that I run out of time because I'm asleep, but I have heard all my shows. Maybe that's the kind of person I am. I like making lists and ticking things off as done. I don't like things pending. So I'm just about to come up on, well, it's be about 10 minutes. But she will tell me before I had to guess which block we were in terms of those 5-minute blocks. When I get to Majestic, that should be about 12 minutes in to the recording. I will post this.
Time 10 minutes. Distance 0.39 kilometers. Average pace 25 minutes 24 seconds per kilometer. Ooh la la, you were fast.
Okay, 25 minutes per kilometer. That's about what I'm averaging nowadays. You remember when I was only working with one leg on the ground? I was lucky if I could get beneath 30 minutes per kilometer. So now it takes me about an hour to do 3 kilometers. I won't have to stop today because I took all the pictures I needed to take and made my movie yesterday. All I have to do is switch out the audio and paste in today's voiceover audio. It's a very quiet neighborhood today. Just a few neighbors going around. Probably these guys in trucks, they're probably landscape people going about their work, fixing up people's yards. I was thinking about this 10 hours a week business. I'm pretty close to 10 hours a week now on my crutches. If you count all the time I spend in the house moving around on crutches. I don't really count those in my mileage. But if you think about it's taking me about 20 minutes to do a kilometer, maybe 25 minutes, if you include all the stops that I make to take pictures. If you think about 25 minutes every kilometer, that's 75 minutes for 3 kilometers. Which is about what I'm going to do today. An hour and 15. But there is no prize in getting off crutches early. You have to get the right amount of time for the tendon to heal. Just passing where I will rejoin this loop. I go in by one trail access that cuts through to a small cul-de-sac kind of area. Then I come back the other side and close it off here and head back up to the house, which is about 500 meters from here. This is exactly the route that I would normally run if I was running to Mount Douglas. You've heard this sidewalk from me countless times. So as I was saying, I'm going to post this twice. Once in its entirety, and once set to music and reduced in length to a manageable 36 minutes to fit into your busy lives more easily. Another week has passed and the photography is getting better and better on the friends page.
15 minutes. Distance 0.62 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes 59 seconds per kilometer. Et voilà, that was great.
So there you go, 24 minutes per kilometer. And the best thing for me is that it doesn't hurt nearly as much on my hands and my shoulders and my armpits, because now I am sharing about a third of my weight every other step on my bad foot. So it's left foot, 2 crutches, right foot on its own. Left foot, 2 crutches, right foot on its own, that kind of thing. So once in a while I'm just on one leg, and the other time I'm on one partially weight-bearing leg and 2 crutches. The more I think about pushing down with a sore leg, the less work I have to do with my arms. But the doctor gave me 6 weeks before he wants to see me done. So I will give him his 6 weeks. But gradually, next Tuesday, I'm going to take out one wedge from my boot, so that I'll be on 2 wedges instead of 3. It'll be like wearing Cuban heels rather than stiletto heels in terms of length. One of the reasons I think that they have this packing in the heel is so that normally I cannot straighten that leg. If I'm standing straight, that leg is always going to be bent. So there's less likelihood of me pole vaulting my tendon with a straight leg. What I did notice yesterday when I had my bath was that all the skin on my heel of my injured foot was flaking off like large pieces of sunburn, peeling off in postage stamp size flakes. Gross, eh? I had to get the carpet sweeper out. But having a bath softened the skin, and then I could scrub off the dead skin much more aesthetically. I am a scab picker by nature, so having large pieces of dry skin is too tempting. But I really did not want to get into the situation of tugging on it until the live skin was being ripped up. Did a lot of that when I was a kid. I was usually biting my fingers. I guess it's a mild form of self-harming, but I guess it's a coping mechanism for stress. This was before I discovered running, and beer for that matter. I was biting my fingers as a kid. My dad used to say I would go mad if I did that. He was pretty blunt with us, my dad. Nice day.
Yeah.
The guy was young and frisky. Not that young, probably 50.
Time 20 minutes. Distance 0.85 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes 29 seconds per kilometer. Ooh la la, you were fast!
Okay. So I'm coming up on 1 kilometer. 20 minutes done. It's amazing how fast time goes by when I'm talking to you guys. I know I'm not the first person to say that, but it is true. Yep. Porridge. So very soon I'm going to be turning onto the little laneway behind Majestic baseball diamond. This one is more than often used by the women and the girls softball team. In fact, I think it's, of all the times I've seen it being played, I don't think I've ever seen any men playing on this diamond. So, how are you all doing? I know that some of you are still busy with your running schedules. Not your running schedules so much as your racing schedules. I know Jim's been doing a fair bit of racing lately. I guess he's enjoying being liberated from his coursework. Norman has had a weekend away from home. I believe he was living on a beach, from what I see from the wonderful pictures he sends us. But I also see him back in the hammock. So he probably went for a day somewhere. I don't think they were living away from home. I think they were just going away for the day. I could be wrong. I really don't worry too much about being right or wrong. It's not too important. Details. I'm not obsessive about that. The details, you can skip the details with me. Really. So this will be the 1 kilometer mark. My French lady does not remember to remind me on the kilometer. She just reminds me every 5 minutes. I can change that. It's just that when I set it up the first time, it just took so long to get the first message from her that I was worrying that it wasn't a recording. I was worrying about app crap, which occasionally plagues us. So this is the one. The next time she speaks it'll be 1.15 or something like that. At the 25 mark. Yep, on the video, this is where there is a right hand bend that I take. Then I head up Hawthorne. So the raw version will be up as soon as I get back, and then I will start to reduce it in length and add a little bit of extra general appeal by
Time 25 minutes. Distance 1.07 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes. 15 seconds per kilometer. Ooh la la, that's good.
Alright, so now I'm on Hawthorne, heading towards the east. I'm heading east now, slightly uphill, but nothing that'll slow me down too much. I have to cross Majestic Drive, the road that the 28 runs along Majestic Drive. 28 takes me downtown, and the 27 also, and the 12 takes me to this shopping centre. That's basically my life at the moment. An hour of crutches, a couple of hours of editing and splicing, and a couple of hours of photographs. Then I start watching the YouTube. This is perfect walking weather. It's probably 17 Celsius with a mackerel sky blocking a lot of the rays from my poor, worn out eyeballs. Yep, I can see the route panning out ahead of me across Majestic up to Columbia Drive, and then from Columbia Drive I cut through another little laneway which puts me back on San Juan. Yep, well, there's sections on this recording that you can see that I might need to take out for the highlights, for the highlight reel. But obviously if I bump into somebody now and start chatting, that'll probably stay in. I always have that option. Alright, I have to look both ways now. I'm crossing a four-way crossing. But luckily it is Sunday at 8:46 as I stop in the middle of the intersection to look at my watch. I stopped in the middle of an intersection the other day, took two pictures of a German girl on a bicycle downtown in Victoria. Yep. There are certain streets and corners that are pedestrian priority areas, and a man on crutches tends to get a little more respect by most motorists. I have had a few impatient motorists trying to either sneak through before me or try and hurry me on my way. One guy, I told him to go before me because I could see that his light was running out, and he was basically blocking where I was heading, so I wanted him to get out of my way so I could finish my crossing. One thing you learn about disability when you have one is that
Time 30 minutes. Distance 1.3 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes 3 seconds per kilometer. Et voilà, that was great.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it? Yeah, well, when you have a disability, people tend to ignore you at first because they don't really want to feel that they have any responsibility for your care. You know, when you see somebody on crutches, you think, oh, thank goodness he didn't fall down in front of me. You don't have to do anything for them, so you tend to get ignored until something goes wrong or until you need help. But people aren't quite clued up enough to know when to help you. A couple of times you see it. I have to ask people to carry things, spillable things, to a table for me, and they don't really wonder why. They can quite simply imagine having to do it themselves without the use of hands. I've been using my teeth a lot lately. If I have to carry something a short way, I would maybe carry my backpack from its strap in my teeth just to get to the door or get to the table or whatever. I can also use it for picking up used plates. Hello. Dedicated walker, enjoying the day. This is beautiful here. You can smell all the gardens, all the purple and the yellow, all the blooms. I'm going to be quite leery of walking on Mount Doug because I'm sure I will be extending my walk to include some of the lower trails, but I really don't want to trip doing anything too energetic. Stick to the easy stuff first. I'll do a fair bit of Lambrick Park till I feel confident that I have my control back. I remember I had a client once who was recovering from partial spinal cord injury. He was sucker punched in a drunken domestic incident, and he did a pile driver into the fridge basically and shunted his neck. Anyway, he was left technically a quadriplegic, which means that he has limited to no use of his hands or his feet. But in his case, he would say that he can walk, but it's like getting pins and needles while you're walking on a springboard. That's what he described it like. All tingly and walking on a springboard. That's what he said that walking felt like to him. And when I used to go and see him, my job was, on one day I would give him a shower, and on another day I would take him out for a walk. He was about my age, I guess, maybe a little younger. But my job was to assist him with personal care issues like showering and laundry. I also had to make his bed, and I also had to activate him by helping him outside. He had a walker. Well, he didn't have a walker, he had a wheelchair. And what he did was, we would get onto the street with him in the wheelchair, and then he would stand up and go around the back and hold on to the handles, and then we would walk together and chat. And then when he got tired, he would sit down and I would push
35 minutes. Distance 1.5 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes. 9 seconds per kilometer. Whoa! Bravo! Good job!
Thank you. Yeah. It's coming down from 25 to 23 now. I think a lot of the slowing down in the past few weeks has been either to take pictures or to take breaks. When I was on one leg, I was taking breaks every 10 minutes. But I haven't stopped for a break yet. And I'm more than halfway done. Beginning to breathe a little heavier like I was exercising. But as I was saying, I'm used to working hard, so this is the normal for me. Being inactive is the less familiar default setting. Chirping of insects. Excuse me. Norma's getting very good at making my porridge. She doesn't make it the same way as I used to make it. She makes it in a bowl in the microwave. But she does put some turmeric, and she does put a bit of pepper and salt with it. And then she tops it with half a sliced banana and some cream and just, I would guess, a teaspoon of sugar. I used to put more like 2 dessert spoons of sugar. I know that was my kickstart for the morning. I wouldn't eat again until after 12. I have an early breakfast, so it sees me through the middle of my active day. And then I start to unwind with the beer and the stew. That kind of diet. Big porridge, and then the meat and potatoes at the midday. And then, invariably, I would have maybe a bowl of cereal before I go to bed, kind of thing. Raisin Bran is my cold cereal of choice. So, back on San Juan, just about to close off the loop at Santa Fe. This is the road that leads to Bisley Park, which was the loop I did yesterday, the shorter loop. Today I'm going for the 2.5K extravaganza. I see some friendly faces. Hello.
What happened to you?
Achilles tendon. I had to have surgery.
Oh dear.
Have you had anything like that?
I haven't.
Oh, it's not much fun.
No.
I used to like running a fair bit.
I remember seeing you running. This is quite a change.
Yeah, well, I have to be patient, but you'll see me running again.
Yeah, good.
If it heals up good and strong, I might be running better than ever.
Good. Well, hang in there, and all the best to you.
Yeah, same to you. Bye-bye. Hello, ladies.
I'm sorry you wounded your wing.
Yes, you can see that. Wounded my wing. They've seen me a couple of times. Hello. That was a knobbly mountain bike, knobbly tires. The road noise from the tires. This is the house where I got the solvent fumes from. That was a Sunday about 4 months ago. He was just firing up his, I think it was a...
Time 40 minutes. Distance 1.71 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes. 17 seconds per kilometer. Think about all the pain au chocolat now you can eat.
He was firing up his Jaguar. I think he must have had either a muffler job or a manifold or a fuel injection, something like that, because suddenly there was this smell of solvent, really, really powerful. I was dizzy for just a few minutes, but quite dizzy. And I was in the open air. You can imagine. He was in his carport, but he was round the front of the car, and I was going by the back. Yep, that buzz lasted me from just around here all the way to the foot of Mount Doug. Luckily, the buzz faded sufficiently for me to run injury-free that day. That's another thing that I learned from working with disabled people. A lot of them sadly had injured themselves on motorcycles, but they did have a more unique viewpoint. They used to call us the currently able-bodied, or ABs, able-bodied, like with the ET. The aliens was us. And I kind of prefer the currently able-bodied attitude because, like for me, for instance, I wasn't working on having an injury. I wasn't expecting in any major way to need surgery, but it happened. Can't really call it an accident, but it was an incident waiting to happen. I think I'm going to get back just around the hour, which will give me an hour of audio to chop 12 minutes out of. Or is it 24? 24 minutes I think I chop out of the hour to give me 36. But I tend to edit by the yard quite often.
See what?
That was a man running with his son in a jogger, baby jogger. I remember when I ran up to see Al Howie and Duncan, I took all my camping gear in a baby jogger, stroller, pushchair, call it what you want. This was I think it was called a marathon stroller, jogging stroller. It's the one that you can also attach to a bicycle if you want to, but I noticed when I was using it that quite often I was leaning on it, like the way people lean on the bar of the treadmill. I would notice that I was leaning on it. It was taking some of the weight off my feet, which made it easier, in fact, to run, and especially easier to run downhill. Because not only were you lighter, but you were also being pulled slightly by gravity. You could have more air time, so to speak, by using the grabs on the stroller. So it's a mistake to think pushing a stroller as a runner is going to be harder than running normally. It's not. It's in fact easier. It is in fact a lot easier, especially when you can counterbalance your weight with the weight of the cargo, which in my case was about 20 pounds of camping gear.
45 minutes. Distance 1.93 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes. 13 seconds per kilometer. Ooh la la, that's good.
So, just coming up on 2 and then my street. So I got about another 300 meters to go. So as you can hear, I have not had any major danger incidents. Very few cars to negotiate. Very few potholes or hummocks of grass to overcome. Yesterday when I came along this sidewalk, the tree ahead of me was hanging down with the weight of rain. There goes a runner, an older man, once again younger than me, I would guess. Alright, so I hit the corner of my house, the street that I'm on, I should say. Yep, it's going to be inside the hour for the whole walk. From start to finish in an hour. Going past the guy with his 2 100% electric Nissan Leaf cars. He was the guy that I wanted to speak to about his solar panels. But in the 10 or 15 years that I've known him, we have never spoken informally. It's always been the hello or the good morning kind of thing, but no more than that. Just the public address. And that was basically only when our eyes met. Occasionally we never actually made eye contact. The British are quite standoffish in that respect, and I guess I learned some of that from living in England for 29 years. Alright, I'm going to enjoy editing this piece down for yous busy people with a need for music. I certainly prefer listening to the shorter musical versions, especially seeing as I heard the originals as I was making them, so there's not too much mystery there for me. I know exactly who I met and who I didn't meet. But the other nice thing about the open mic and the edit is that occasionally you do catch some nuggets of programming that make your day, make my day anyway. I hope this recording is clear and entertaining enough for you to listen, and kudos to the raw footage listeners. I'm pretty sure that most of the people who see one of my shows coming up as raw, they will assume that there will be a mashup later on in the day, which is what will happen with this one. I'm going to take you right to the end.
Time 50 minutes. Distance 2.14 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes 18 seconds per kilometer. Et voilà, that was great.
Well, that's almost finished as well, so I think she said 55 minutes. It's going to be just over 2 kilometers. 2.1, I believe, something like that. As I head for the bench in front of Norma's pottery studio, which is an outbuilding. Alright, let me sit down first. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Yeah, I'm breathing quite heavily, that's good.
Activity paused. Et voilà! It is the end. Workout summary. Total time 51 minutes 18 seconds. Total distance 2.18 kilometers. Average pace 23 minutes 32 seconds per kilometer. Think about all the pain au chocolat now you can eat.
I wish. Okay, so this is the running jackal saying goodbye to you on Sunday, the 11th of June. Bye-bye.